In this video, we will look at the file writer blocks in the RTSA Suite Pro software. On screen, you can see a mission from a previous video. We will simplify this mission first by removing a few blocks we do not need. Delete the GPS block from the diagram. Delete the RF drive test block as well. The remaining signal flow is as follows. A calibration block defines the antenna, any amplifiers, and cable losses so we get the highest possible measurement accuracy. Its output feeds the Spectran V6 to IQ block, which generates the IQ stream. The IQ stream goes to the IQ power spectrum display. From there, the information fans out in parallel to other displays and to the AM/FM demodulator block. We already use an audio wave file writer there to record audio waveform files, which is one way to capture information from the RF spectrum. Now, we will move from left to right and introduce the raw IQ file writer. In the block graph editor search box, type File. From the results, double-click Raw IQ File Writer to add it to the diagram. Connect the IQ output of the Spectran V6 to IQ block to the input of the Raw IQ File Writer block. Note that the Raw IQ File Writer must receive raw IQ data, so it cannot be connected directly to the IQ power spectrum, which already processes the data into Spectra. Click the Auto Fit button in the ribbon bar. You now see the raw IQ file writer block positioned immediately after the effective AD converter stage of the Spectran V6. The key difference here is the file writer records the entire IQ bandwidth. There is no filtering and no decimation. You capture 100% of the data coming out of the V6 Eco. That can be a very large amount of data, depending on the configured span. We will demonstrate this in a moment. Open the properties for the raw IQ file writer. Either locate its settings in the right-hand properties panel or double-click the block to expand its main menu. First, we need to define the output file. Click the folder icon next to the file name field. Navigate to a directory such as c:\temp\audio. Enter a file name like raw_IQ_recording and click Save. Next, enable Auto Start in the properties. This links the file writer to the main Start button in the ribbon bar, so recording begins automatically whenever you start the mission. At this point, Auto Start is checked, and Check Overwrite is also enabled. The maximum file size is set to approximately 931 megabytes, which is effectively 1 gigabyte. Click Start in the ribbon bar. Open the audio directory and clear any old files so it is easy to see what is created. Click Start again. You can see that the recording runs briefly and then stops. It stops because the 1 gigabyte maximum file size has been reached. Recording full bandwidth IQ is very fast and demanding on your hard drive. If you leave Check Overwrite enabled, the file writer will keep overwriting the same file name each time you start. To demonstrate this, uncheck Check Overwrite in the properties, then start the mission again. The file writer continues to use the same file name, and the limiting factor remains the maximum file size. You do not see additional files or additional recording time in the directory. The file simply gets rewritten. To generate multiple files instead of overwriting, adjust the options. Uncheck Check Overwrite. Check Add Index. Check Add Date. Also, enable Split Files. With these options, the file writer creates indexed file names including the date, and it splits the recording into segments based on the maximum file size. Click Start in the ribbon bar again. Watch the audio folder. Multiple 1 gigabyte files are created very quickly. Be sure to stop recording before the hard drive fills up. In less than a minute, you can produce many gigabytes of data at full span. After the demonstration, delete the recorded files from the directory. Next, think about the maximum file size you actually want. You may plan to replay these recordings later directly from RAM. Open Task Manager and check the available memory. In this example, there are about 38.3 gigabytes of free RAM. Using 100% of that for replay is not advisable. Leave some headroom, for instance by targeting around 33 gigabytes. In the raw iQ file writer properties, enter 33 in the maximum file size field when you want a large file for in-memory replay. For normal operation, you can change the maximum back to 1 to limit recordings to about 1 gigabyte each. Now return to the iQ Power Spectrum to illustrate how bandwidth and span affect your recordings. Click the Edit or Measurement View button in the ribbon bar to show the iQ Power Spectrum display. Right now, we are recording at the full available span. As you saw, this fills the hard drive very quickly and captures a lot of noise and out-of-band information. If your primary interest is a specific signal, such as the carrier at 90.700 MHz, you can save substantial disk space by reducing the span around that frequency. By optimizing the span, you still capture all essential information for that signal, but you significantly reduce the data rate. Empty the audio directory again so we can see new files being created. Click Start in the ribbon bar and observe how rapidly files appear when recording at full span. Then in the Spectran V6 to iQ block, change the span setting to 1/8. Start recording once more. Now, the files accumulate much more slowly because less bandwidth is being captured. With the 1/8 span, it takes considerably longer to reach a 1 gigabyte file. At the same time, focusing on the narrower span gives you more detailed information about the signal of interest. You can also adjust the color scheme of the waterfall in the iQ Power Spectrum to suit your preferences if that helps you interpret the signal more easily. Finally, let's briefly revisit some of the related file writer options in the AM/FM demodulator's audio file writer. The concepts are similar: auto start, add index, add date, check for overwrite, and the maximum file size. These options give you consistent control over how and where recordings are created. Click Start in the ribbon bar, then Stop, to confirm everything is working with the current settings. This concludes the first introduction to recording files using the raw iQ file writer connected directly to the Spectran V6 Eco. For more information, check out our other videos on our YouTube page or visit AaroniaUSA.com.